Hey, what's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Hope you're having a great day. Hey, today, guys, I wanted to delve into a little deeper into humanity's origins and contact with entities from outside this realm. And I can tie this into your religions, to your major religions. See, the keys, the clues, folks, have always been in front of our faces. We just, in the past, were looking at things through a lens of ignorance and lack of technological understanding. And we're gonna delve into that right now. So, as you guys know, I have stated over and over and over again that the gods in these religions, these ancient religions, were not the creator of all, were not the source of all creation, but were either extraterrestrial, interdimensional, or perhaps even Atlantean advanced entities. And they had contact with humans, and they've been manipulating humanity. They've genetically modified humanity. And to this day, they're still here. The Watchers. They're still here. Their technology is still far more advanced than ours. And perhaps some of them are even allied with certain governments of the world, giving technologies and other things. So allowing genetic experiments, or at least genetic research, to be done. Now, once again, I want to say, going back to the very beginning, we'll look at the Judeo-Christian roots, Genesis, the genesis of man, our origins. You'll find that it was not about a singular God that created man. You'll find that it talks about the powerful ones, the shining ones, the Elohim. Elohim is plural. It is not singular. I don't care how many types of gymnastics you tried to do over making it into the Trinity and all this other nonsense. It is quite clear that the Elohim are not God. However, it is quite clear that the Elohim had a hand in humanity's genetic makeup. The God walking in the Garden of Eden that talked to Adam and Eve and was furious with them for eating from the tree of knowledge, for fornicating with the serpent, was not, this God walking on the earth was not the creator of all, was not the source of all creation. Folks, the source of creation is everything around you. It is the quantum field. It is the makeup of this realm and other realms and other dimensions and other galaxies and universes. It is the totality of all that. That is your God. Not some dude walking through the Garden of Eden, strolling through the garden. I mean, folks, it's time to get wise. And it is quite evident that there was genetic manipulation being done. Now, this is even in your biblical version. You know, where God takes one of Adam's ribs and creates Eve from Adam's rib? Folks, that was all about genetic technology. That entity was using mitochondrial DNA from Adam's rib bone. And this was all about genetic manipulation. The Adam and Eve prototype, the avatars, the human avatar, the hybridization of humanoids that were already on Earth into the Homo sapien prototype. And this is backed up much further in the ancient Akkadian and Sumerian and other various cuneiform tablets. Same thing, the Genesis story in those. Except it's not the creator of all, at least that the Judeo-Christians claim, and the serpent. It's about two brothers. Two brothers that are vying for dominance and control over Earth. Two brothers, one brother that was the commander of Earth and he wanted more workers, and their people, their Igigi, were refusing to work because they were being worked to death. And they were an advanced race, and they were doing menial tasks because they were on a world in a realm where they did not have direct access to all their technologies. So they were having to do manual labor. And they needed a worker class, a slave class. So they mixed some of their essence, their DNA, in with the hominids that were walking on Earth at the time. And as we know, hominids have been walking on the earth for hundreds of thousands of years. And your 6,000 year creation belief, people, is a freaking joke, really. I mean, we've got Göbekli Tepe and these other megalithic structures that are now being dated past 10,000 years BC. So your biblical 6,000 year creation story is bullshit. It's time to wake up, folks. Stop believing fairy tales. It's time to look at the cold, hard facts that our ancestors were trying to enlighten us with. And we choose to ignore it. Now, these two brothers were not gods. However, they were technologically advanced. And one was a scientist, the serpent, Enki. You know, wiser than a serpent. And with the help of his sister Ninmah, is where we get the word mama from. She was the first, she carried Adam and Eve in her womb and brought them to term. You can call her Isis. Same entity, same archetype. Both the Judeo-Christian and the Sumerian, or the cuneiform, tell us that humans are a genetic hybridized species, and that we had an interaction with advanced entities, regardless of what those entities were. And we could further back this up by more ancient texts. The Hindu Vedic texts explain how this world was visited by higher beings, by more advanced beings from somewhere else. Some of them were described as having blue skin and such. And they had a hierarchy. And they had giant floating cities described in the ancient Sanskrit. And out of these cities, these floating cities, they had smaller flying devices called vimanas. Now, a lot of you will just poo-poo this. You guys, if you need to read how detailed the descriptions of the Vimanas were. Detailed to the point that there are scientists and engineers that have recreated models of these Vimanas. Even their propulsion devices were explained in the Vedic text. And there were wars between these floating cities, between these Vimanas. There were missiles described, weapons of mass destruction described, folks. In that Oppenheimer film that you are all raving about, because so many people, all they do is rave about Hollywood movies, he even says, "I've now become the destroyer of worlds." Folks, that is from the Vedic text, talking about these war between the gods. And then, of course, in the Bible, you have the war of Lucifer and his 200 fallen angels that were cast out of heaven for rebelling against the Most High. And you had actual battles between these angels in heaven. And a third of them rebelled with this Lucifer character. Now, folks, my God, you've got to understand the Bible, the Vedic texts, the Torah, Zoroastrian, their books, all these ancient root religions were all written by man. However, they were trying to conceptualize God, but more importantly, they were making gods out of these warring factions that came to Earth, out of these advanced beings. And it is quite clear that these advanced beings were bigger, stronger, and smarter than humans. And it tells you why in the Sumerian cuneiform. And it was because humans were meant to be a working slave race, to raise animals, to grow agricultural plants, to dig the canals, to build the cities for these more advanced beings. Folks, you don't want to know this. I get it. I know you. I get that you don't want to know this because it, for one, takes mankind out of being the center of the universe, and it makes you realize that we come from a not so fantastic past. I get it, folks. I struggle with this myself. The more you learn, sometimes the more you don't want to know. But we need to learn this, folks, because these ancient secrets, these ancient teachings hold the keys to our own salvation too. And no, I'm not talking about you're waiting for a sacrificed man to come back and save you all. Because if he's from that original lineage, then he also contains the DNA of these beings. We all do. We are all hybridized. So some of you, especially on the right, Christians and such, are going to laugh all this off. Okay, well, I'm going to give you more of your own medicine from your own book, because perhaps you've read about the chariots of fire, how Elijah and Enoch were taken up. Perhaps you've read about Ezekiel's wheel, which has also been built by NASA, by the instructions, by the measurements of the book of Ezekiel. Models have been built off these descriptions. Folks, these were advanced structures. These were devices that Ezekiel, being a Mesopotamian goat herder, with the IQ probably not higher than 60 and a primitive understanding of reality was trying to explain to you in ancient terms. Over and over and over, there are these descriptions of advanced technology in the Bible. There are descriptions of advanced technology in the cuneiform. There are descriptions of advanced technology in the Sanskrit, the Vedic text. There are depictions and descriptions of ancient technology in the Egyptian, folks. Folks, we cannot replicate what the Egyptians did. And I want to clear this up because this was not the later Egyptians. These were not the pharaohs. They even say that their gods, Thoth and such, the original gods of Egypt, were the ones who built the pyramids and all of these ancient megalithic structures. And they were technological devices, folks. The Great Pyramid is a device. Now, exactly what it is, we do not know because we're still trying to unravel the mysteries and because humanity is being stonewalled by the antiquities thugs. They know that there are secret tunnels under all of these ancient pyramids. They know that there's a much more vast network of buildings and technologies hidden in the sands of Egypt. And we are being lied to, folks, because they cannot allow us to understand that our whole history and our whole of religions and the whole power structure of this realm are all theater. They're all bullshit. Everything, we're being lied to about everything, folks. And I know I sound crazy right now because this is the truth. The more you learn about this stuff, the more you realize you don't know shit because it's all a lie. You're trying to, you have a shovel and you have a pile of shit and you're just trying to get to the truth and you're just shoveling layers and layers and layers down and a little bit of the truth's peeking out and then you shovel down more and then it just takes forever to get to the bottom of the shit pile. And they know this and it's designed that way because, folks, the earth is not ruled by human beings, or at least Homo sapiens. The world is still ruled from the shadows and manipulated by these same warring faction families since the beginning. And humans are still being used as a slave worker race. We are still slaves, folks. And you can laugh at me all you want saying I ain't no damn slave. Yeah, you are there, buddy. You're just too dumb to realize it. Your monetary system is designed to put you in slavery, debt slavery. From the time you're born, you're already in debt. Your nation's in debt. The world is trillions of dollars in debt, folks. There is no way that all of the world's debt could be paid off because of derivatives and because of fractional banking and our debt monetary system ran by central banks around the world. Everybody is in debt and every nation is in debt and there's no way to pay it off. And you'd ask, well, who are we in debt to? Folks, these same old families, the Enkyites and the Enlilites, are still running this world through their religions and through their governments and through, most importantly, their monetary policy. Because they have to control us, folks. This is a hard, cold truth. It's a hard pill to swallow. And I'm not trying to black pill anybody here, okay? Because there is a silver lining in all this. There is an ultimate truth if you allow me to finish my video here at the end. Because one thing I notice, most people that watch my videos do not listen to it in its entirety. And the funny thing is you're missing out because I always tie everything up at the end. And that is always the most important message. I'm building up to that. But people nowadays don't have the attention span. Look, my videos are designed, folks, so you don't have to watch them. Just put it on in the background while you're doing dishes or something. Absorb the information I'm trying to tell you. You don't have to sit here and watch me in the dark and say, oh my God, your videos suck because it's like dark and I don't know what who cares, folks? Just listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Yes, I will be building a studio and I'll be doing better videos with me front and center in front of the camera, because I understand that that's what a lot of you want, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'm building myself, I'm growing myself into this role. But what I'm most concerned about is teaching these truths that we need to wake up to, folks. If you don't believe you're a slave, you're full of it. They even tell you to your face, your religions are part of the matrix, folks. These religions that you put your soul salvation into. They were created by man, written by man, and manipulated from the shadows by these other entities. Their human agents were the ones that that started these religions, that are running them, but they're ultimately not in total control. They tell you, these books tell you, you're a sheep. You're a sheep. You're a sheep. Just be a sheep. Yeah, just wait for the shepherd to come, bring his scythe and carry out the harvest of humanity. Sounds like a sacrifice to me, folks. Oh yes. And then you got the other ones, the little hat people, the bankers and such. Oh yeah, you're cattle. You're nothing but cattle. And I'm not going to say the word because it's a trigger word. And as we know, there are a special race of people on earth that you may not speak about, or you get attacked mercilessly. Sorry. Tongue's not fully awake yet today, folks. Well, those people claim to be the direct descendants of one of these, patriarch families. Perhaps they are, because their hand is in our banking system that has us all under slavery. And when their Messiah shows up, they look forward to a time when we are all their sex slaves and work slaves. Not just to their rulers from behind the scenes, but to them, to the humans. Oh yeah, they're to the chosen ones. That's and Christians buy this BS, dude. I can't believe it. I mean, come on, people. It's time to wake up. Your Bible explains these interactions with these entities. And no, the Old Testament book is not about the creator of all, the source of all creation. It's about these advanced beings that manipulated humanity, that put themselves up as gods. Because they learned not only could they use humanity as slaves to do all of their manual labor and such, and to bring them food and such, to build their city-states up. They figured out that by humans praying to them, that humans were giving them their energy. Prayers are energy, folks. When you pray, you're interfacing with the quantum field, with the universe. They understand that when those prayers are made to them, that you're sending your prayer energy to them directly. So this Yahweh character that you all claims the Father, the Big Daddy in the sky, the good guy, the Trinity. I mean, he's Lord of Hosts. He's the Most High. He's got every title imaginable. Yet, most of you don't understand that all of those titles are actually different entities. They're different Anunnaki, different Anuna gods. They're the Watchers, folks. That's who you're worshiping, and you're praying to them. How many of you pray to these archangels for protection? Michael and Gabriel. Guess what? Ninurta and Nergal. They're two of the sons of Enlil. You're worshiping Anunnaki, folks. It's time to wake up. You're giving your power away, and you don't even realize it because you're ignorant. And I get it, because you've been brainwashed your whole life. And you follow the religions that they set forth for you as a guide to be a good slave. And so you're a good little slave. You pray to them. You give them your energy. You know, you think you're a really good person and that you're going to be saved. Well, here's the truth, folks. You're all saved. You don't need these Anunnaki. You don't need these gods to save you. Folks, you are fractals of the true creator, of the source energy. You are fractals of that, which makes you co-creators with source. Folks, I'm talking about your true essence, your conscious energy, your spirit, your soul, whatever you want to call it. I don't really give a crap. Understand this, folks. True enlightenment is understanding that you are Neo, folks. And I know it's ridiculous to use a movie thing, but the point I'm trying to make is that you've got to learn how to come up with, you got to figure out, you got to find the Christ within, the Christ consciousness. That you are all powerful, that you are not of this world. You are visiting here in this human avatar. And they know that, and they use you. You come into this realm not knowing anything. You're hidden from all the truth of your spirit, everything you know. You are cut off from that direct interface with Source. Though I think you can find that connection, but it's like you're in a room, a huge room full of like thick fog, and it's dark, and there's just a tiny bit of light, and you're trying to find your way around, find your way back to that source, right? That connection. And I think you can do it here. I think we all can. It's simple, folks. You just, when you pray, don't send your praise to an entity. Don't give names. Just pray to the source of all creation, to the all. Every time you put these names of these entities in your prayers, you're moving your prayer energy to them, and they like that. They want that. They harvest They harvest your work. They harvest your energy. They harvest your minds. It's time we wake up, folks. I know this sounds so hard and so bad. I get it, but I'm telling you, it's in the ancient texts. They've told us since the beginning. You've got to understand this, folks. And this isn't just these more advanced civilizations. You got to go look at what all of the ancient indigenous tribes around the world talk about. They all talk about the sky people coming down, teaching them how to plant, how to grow, how to do different things, how to read the stars. I'm talking North American Indians, the Mesoamericans, the Aborigines in Australia. I'm telling you, folks, it was a worldwide event. They spread this knowledge across the whole planet. They were going around teaching all of the tribes of people, the nomads all around the earth. This was all knowledge that's been lost, folks. But it's not lost because it's in your face. You just choose not to see it, or you've been conditioned not to see it. It's in your books. It's in your Bible. So a lot of you always say, well, you're always going off about how the Bible's not, it's not about God. And it says, folks, the Bible is a great reference because it is essentially like Reader's Digest version of the Sumerian cuneiform. They tried to tie it all into a story, but they made all of the gods into one god, and they made themselves the chosen ones, the heroes in the story. That's all it is, folks. But there's very important and pertinent information in that Bible. So those of you that say, well, why do you continually use the Bible and you act like you're not religious? I'm not religious, folks. But the Bible does have great content and context. And it helps connect the dots because a lot of these stories that were written down in it are in line with all of these other ancient texts. And it's all the same story, folks. Ancient contact, ancient manipulation by higher level or highly advanced beings. And that's it, folks. But remember, you are conscious energy. This is not your final resting place. This is just a visit, and they understand that, and they have to use spirits to give their avatars life, to make them work. The Sumerians even talk about how when they were creating the first Adam, that they had to sacrifice one of the Anunnaki to give that atom the essence of life. Folks, what that was talking about was transplanting a soul spirit from one entity body into another one. It was an experiment, folks. The Anunnaki understood that these avatars had to have the source energy in them to live, to operate. So they had to figure out a way to get humans or to get spirits from source to come inhabit these avatars. And they've gotten real good at it, folks, because from what I hear, people line up on the other side to come to Earth. And they say Earth is the hardest realm to come to because it's the deepest in duality, has the deepest amount of darkness that you find. Folks, this is not our reality. We come here. This is a temporary existence. And I hope that's the silver lining you can understand in this. And no, you do not need to be saved. There's no hell waiting for you, folks. This is essentially a simulated reality that you're experiencing. We'll go deeper into this, but understand you are fractal of source. You are amazing. You're powerful, and you're a God in your own right. And I'm not saying you are the God. I'm saying you are a son and daughter of God, of the true source. And these beings know that, and they're using you. So stop giving them your prayer energy. And it's time to start fixing this realm, folks, because we can wrestle grasp of this world from them. They're few, we're many. Anyways, hey, I appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you later.